Hello and welcome to this film, which is about exploring excellence in this literacy skill of using precise word choices. So what I'm going to do is give you a quick bit of advice and some ideas about how you might really push yourself in the words that you use, what to do, what to avoid, tips to look out for. Right. Some of the advice we'd give you. So if you're watching this, you should have done and watched this Getting Skilled Up video, and you should be clear and confident that you're doing the things that it suggests that you do in there. Okay, and if you're not clear about that, then go back and watch that one again. Some of the things. Now, in a way, exploring excellence in this skill is not too hard to explain, because it just means doing more of the same and trying to find better words, more sophisticated words. A great writer and a highly sort of literate person will love collecting new words, finding out the words, new words and their meaning, and putting them into action. Some specific advice then we'd give you: to explore excellence in your word choice, try to use increasingly precise and sophisticated technical words from your subject, from whatever subject that you're doing. So make it your business to find out the kind of posh words, the impressive words from whatever topic you're doing. Well, as in the previous video, we looked at how you might use the example of explaining the causes of the First World War, and we talked about how you might go from Franz Ferdinand was shot to Franz Ferdinand was assassinated, to make it a more precise word choice. Well, let's carry on with that example. One of the things that you need to do in history is to show an understanding that historical events like the First World War don't just usually come because of one event. It's not one thing that makes that war start. You know, there's lots of what are known as underlying causes. You might be asked then, what are the underlying causes of the First World War? Something you might say in response to that is, some people thought their country was better than other countries, so they were more likely to fight. The idea that people had that kind of real sense of pride in their country that was so extreme that it made them, in some cases, want to kind of take over other countries or want to fight against other countries. Now that's expressing an idea, but look at this. This might be a more precise way of saying it. So one of the causes of the First World War is nationalism, the belief that your country is better than others. This made nations assertive and aggressive. So what's changed between our first, not especially precise description, and this one, which is starting to explore excellence? It's a really impressive description. Well, you've got the key word, haven't you? The subject, the technical word, nationalism, and you've used that word. You've also got the uses of some nouns, such as nations. So we've said, your country is better than others. This made nations assertive and aggressive. So nations is a noun, and it's kind of, you've got a combination, haven't you? You've got more than one way of saying the same thing, from countries to nations, showing that you've got a wide vocabulary. You've also got these two adjectives, assertive and aggressive. Now think about those two. Why are they really excellent ways to express that? And my suggestion is that they're quite precise. If you're assertive, you sort of know what you want and you're willing to go and get it. It's different to aggressive. They don't mean the same thing, because then there'd be no point saying. Whereas aggressive means, you know, you're prepared to use violence in the pursuit of what you want. So you can see, with nouns and with adjectives, this has turned into a really precise piece of writing, which expresses exactly what it is that you're setting out to express. Let's look at another example. Right, so you might be learning about bacteria in science. You might come with this sentence here: bacteria are usually smaller than fungi. If there's just one of them, we call it a bacterium. Bacteria have many different shapes. Some have tails called flagella that let them swim. And there, you've got that reference to the key word. You see, you've gone from tails to flagella, which is the key technical word. And if you can learn, if you're really serious about exploring excellence, you need to know the technical language for the subject that you're studying. And all the different subjects have technical language that you can learn and that you can draw upon. So therefore, really, we're looking for you to be ambitious in the words that you use, to enjoy learning these new words and experimenting with using them. Again, checking your work for errors and upgrading, but also crucially, not going over the top and using words when you don't know exactly what they mean. Sometimes there's a tendency when people are trying to experiment with their vocabulary to go a bit too far with it and to use huge, great long lists of adjectives. Try and avoid doing that and just being quite to the point, but using technical words. Using precise language doesn't mean it has to be very, very overcomplicated so that it loses clarity. So of course the best thing to do if you want to improve your vocabulary is talk to your teachers, use your books to record the new words, maybe highlight new words that you learn. Also using a dictionary and a thesaurus, or perhaps in the other order, a thesaurus and a dictionary will be really helpful to you. If you have that there when you're doing a piece of writing, you can always look up what new words and then what new words you might use, but then use your dictionary to check that you're using them in the right context and you're using them in the right way. So there's some ideas and some thoughts about that really important skill of using precise word choices to make your writing as effective and as successful as it possibly can be.